What's up, everyone? It's good to be back. It's good to be back. I'd been off for quite some time. I just took some time out to just do some, reflection and do some few things here and there. And right now I'm back. And in this video, as you can see from the image and the graphics from the video, we'll be looking at the road to BAL. In 2019, the BAL first season kicked off in 2021. That was last season one. And KPA was slated into the road to BAL way back in 2019. So the 2019 road to BAL was just a prelude to get the teams that are going to compete in the first ever inaugural season of the BAL. So KPA had a good run. They were coming off a very good season the previous season. They three-peated in 2016, 2017, 2018. And I believe they used that ticket to be able to get to the road to the BAL because they picked the champions. So they had a very solid run. They had some, solid performances. Not even some, they had like a lot of solid performances. And in this video, we'll be looking at the Kenya Ports Authority basketball team versus GNBC. This is a club that has been in the BAL. And without further ado, let me just get into it. So KPA had a very solid roster, and the players just came out and just played so well. We had Valbuza, he was there. We had Ariel Okal, he was there. We had Faisal, we had Joe Byron, they were there. So Victor Odendo. So all of that whole roster, like the way it was constructed, it was just a championship winning roster that at the time was seen as the future of basketball in Kenya. And these are the guys who are supposed to bring the glory and culture of basketball back to Kenya through KPA basketball. So it was just a good run. You can see on the screen Valbuza plus 24 efficiency, 17 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. This man was an absolute tear. He's a consistent double threat. And the guy who matched up with him was Francis Mori. He had a plus efficiency or plus 31, excuse me. 36 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. So this is the first game that they played in the road to BAL, and it was actually pretty spectacular. When you look at the way the game was just set up, the way KPA just set up their offense, they just pulled away all the way from the first quarter up to the fourth. There was no point where the KPA men's side just had a scoring slump in any point. They dominated for 36 total minutes, and it was just something spectacular to see. And looking at their shooting, they shot 64% from 2-point field goals, 50% from deep, and they struggled with 54% from the line. But overall, they shot 61% from the field. So that was actually a pretty good, solid shooting exhibition from the KPA side. And in the rebounds, they dominated in the rebounds, 42 total rebounds. In the steals, they led with 11 steals. They dished out the rock pretty well with 26 assists, struggled with 23 turnovers, recorded 1 block, and they had 16 fouls. So looking at the way that the key stats panned out, it was going to show you like how they knew how to set up an offense. They knew how to adapt to that style, because it was pretty different. The first time you're seeing like a Kenyan based team in KPA going and challenging in the FIBA stage road to BAL. So having such a performance was exemplary, and it was needed and it was required for them so they can be able to contend at the time, which they did. And they did a very, very good thing, and they were able to lead in fast break points, especially fast break points in the transition. Those transition points, they actually capitalized pretty well on that in this game. They racked up 12 second chance points, 56 points in the paint. This was actually the story at the time. They were really dominating in the paint, and it was due to like the way they were just scoring inside, especially those fast break points when they are driving into the rim, finishing inside in the post, which is actually pretty vital, because this was one of the things that made them be one of the most dominant force, especially in that window of the road to BAL for the first inaugural season. Okay, things didn't pan out pretty well in the end when they missed that walkover. They got a walkover. They missed that City Oilers game, which I covered in a previous video of how the negligent KPA front office cost them the ticket to the BAL. I covered that video extensively, but just looking at how things unfolded, if you want to check out that video, I will leave the link to it in the description box. But in this situation, in this video, just be looking at and assessing like how this team performed and how these guys came in and it just dominated, especially in that road to BL, because no other team in Kenyan basketball history dominated the way KPA dominated in that road to BL in 2019. Okay, we saw the Lindsay Warriors, they tried their hand, but they were not able to get far because they got knocked out in the first round, and they only managed to win a opening total of only one game. KPA in this whole run went unbeaten, and if it weren't for that City Oilers walkover, they will have been in the first inaugural season of the BAL. So I mean, that situation was I covered that situation in entirety in that video. We'll leave a link to it in the description box. But looking at how that team was set up, we had 5 players who came in and just really dominated, especially scoring wise. We've got Okal Karanga, 29 minutes played, 18 points, 8 rebounds. He had racked up 4 assists, 1 block, plus minus for plus 11. Here have got Michael, 31 minutes play, 18 points, 53% shooting from the field. I dare say Okal Karanga, he shot 75% from the field. So this guy was pretty efficient, very good at the time. And you've got Michael, 18 points, 53% shooting from the field, plus 22 efficiency. Victor Odendo, 31 minutes played, 15 points, 55% shooting from the field. Valbuza, 17 points, 34 minutes played, 53% shooting from the field. Job Ayodi, 22 minutes played, 20 points. And Job was the guy who led in scoring with 20 points. And he shot 72% from the field. So they were just running like a well-oiled machine behind head coach Samuel Kikinganga and assistant coach Clifford, who was the coach for the Kenya Marines team for 2 windows. Then things went sideways. But Samuel Kikinganga, he has been there and he's still the head coach of KPA till this day. And looking at the way these guys came out, it was very spectacular to see how KPA just came in and dominated GNBC. And looking back at this performance, I can say we are yet to see such a performance being pulled off by the likes of our Lindsay Warriors, as they were not able to beat not even GNBC. They were not able to beat like the Ferroviario Dabera Mozambique team. They were not able to beat Cobra Sport for the second time. They were not able to beat New Stars. So KPA just took made quick work of GNBC at the time. This was in 2019, and looking at the way these guys played, they were just playing to win. And this time it was pretty competitive because people never knew like how the BAL was going to pan out and how it's going to look like in the near future. So right now the second season already came to a close this year. We're going to wait for next year to see what BAL teams are going to come in, but the road to BAL is going to get harder and harder because there's a new standard this season too that it's set, and we don't know how teams are going to gear up and match up and how competitive other teams are. So yeah, this was one of those shots and opportunities that blew us by. And although on the court we showed up pretty well, the KPA side, the front office really messed them up. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So that's your video. So if you guys like the video, make sure to leave your feedback down in the comments on what you think, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button because it helps me out a ton. Hit that bell as well when you subscribe, because a lot of videos are going to be popping up. And I'm out. Peace.